So I'm taking a rest. It's a beautiful day today to work outside. It feels like a fall day and the sun is finally out, and I'm clearing out the garden. I've almost got one row cleared out. I like one more panel in that row, and there's tomatoes still on that panel, but they're just small, so I'm debating whether to leave them or just go ahead and pull them up, and I'll probably pull them up because the ones that were on there were just getting blighted, so I think I'm just going to pull them up. But I need to rest my back and take a break here a minute before I finish that up. And that may be the only row I do today. I need to pace myself and not overdo it. So tomorrow I'll do another row, and then I'll do the bean row the next day. They're not calling for any rain this week. So then once I get those rows down, I can chop down the corn. So maybe I'll get it finished by the end of the week. My zinnias, the butterflies are still pollinating them, and let me show you. I'm going to have to cut the heads off of those and put in a paper bag to store over winter for seed. Let me show those to you. They are dying back for sure, but I sure have enjoyed them this year. So next year I'm going to plant a bunch of them in other places too. But what concerns me is I've not seen any honeybees this year, just bumblebees. And the corn, a lot of it didn't fill out to the top. A lot of the corn didn't fill out at the top, and I think because it just didn't have enough pollination, and a combination of where the storm blew it flat down may have stunted its growth some too. So, but I got about 2 dozen ears, decent ears, and put them up in the freezer for the winter. So that's what I'm doing today. So I've cleaned out this first row, got the panels clean, so I'm going to unhook the panels and put those back in storage. Tomorrow I'll work on the next row. I'm quitting for the day now. I got the 2 rows of landscape fabric up too. So tomorrow I'll work on that row. 2 more rows gone and cleaned up. My brother Teddy came over this morning and helped me take both of those 2 rows done. I got one done yesterday, so we got 2 more rows cleaned up, and now all I like is the corn and deheading the zinnias, but I think I'm going to let them dry out as much as possible before I do that. So a big accomplishment. So my neighbor's field, they cut it yesterday, and I'm walking my field now because they're going to cut it this week. I just checked with him, so I'm just walking and picking up tree limbs so that they won't be in their way. I'm glad I keep a strip mowed here along the fence line. Joe's always done that, and I'm going to keep it up because it really helps when you need to come out and check the fields. Let's see if there's any tree limbs. Last time I mowed there was some, and I stopped and picked them up. Let's see if there's any more. Sometimes if it gets over in the high grass, they're hard to spot, and it could do some damage to a mower. But I don't see any. I think it's in good shape. I've already done the limbs along that tree and picked several up. And on this side of the field, we're good, except going down the line way over there where those trees are. I need to go check those out. Yep, there's some limbs out here at this tree. Not many though. I'm sitting down here at the garage with Mercy. She's wanting me to pet her. You could get up here in my lap, so I don't have to get down on the floor to pet you. What do you think about that? You want my lap? I'm admiring the clouds up here. Look how pretty they are. Beautiful blue sky. Beautiful clouds. Just a gorgeous day. Taking advantage of it while I can because it won't be long. Cold weather will be here. Now she jumped up here. Want me to rub you with my feet? Got my garden shoes on. And look how pretty those shutters look. After Teddy left, I rested a bit, and then I decided to trim back this orange blossom shrub. It was growing up really tall, and when the wind would blow I could hear it scraping against the gutters, so I gave it a good trimming. See if you can see it better there. Then I put the ladder over here at the dogwood tree because it just looks lopsided to me, and I need to trim some on that side, but I may not do it today because I'm starting to feel pretty tired. Mission accomplished. The cornrows are gone. Got them all piled up here in the center, and I'll probably just burn those later. And all I like is getting up 3 rows of landscape fabric. I don't know if I'll do that tonight. It's almost 7 o'clock, so. Good morning, Mercy. Did you sleep good last night? Did you sleep good? Got chilly, didn't it? Good morning, y'all. It's Friday this week, and I'm in the kitchen today. So a friend of ours is having their annual potluck. They have a group of friends over, and he smokes a pork butt, and we all bring the sides and dessert. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to make to take tonight, and I'm going to first make a little bit of coleslaw. I don't know if anybody else is bringing it or not, but I thought I'd go ahead and make just a small batch. So it's real easy, and I want to get it in the refrigerator so it has time to marinate and chill real good. So I'll start with that first. And then I'm going to make some recipes that I have taken from some of the other YouTubers that I watch. I love learning from YouTubers and sharing recipes. That's the fun of having a YouTube channel and watching others. So I'm going to make this corn salad dip, and I got that from the YouTube channel called Hillside Farm Homeworthy, and she made that, and it looks so delicious, and so I thought it would go good with the pork butt. Let's get started, and I'll show you how I do all this. I need to get my apron on first though. Well, I got my apron on, ready to work. We're going to start with the coleslaw because I want to get that made and in the refrigerator to give it time to chill and be real good. So this is how I'm going to make it today. You can use a real head of cabbage and chop it up fine. I don't have time to do that, so I have bought a pre-made bag of coleslaw mix. And this just has the white cabbage and carrots in it. I really like the one that has purple cabbage in it too because it makes it look so more appetizing and pretty with that purple color in there. But this is all they had at the grocery store, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to make a half recipe because I'm not sure if anyone else is bringing coleslaw or not, but it sounds like it would be a good side dish for pork, so other may have the same idea. But if no one brought it, I did want to have some coleslaw. So the dressing, I'm going to start first. And why do I do that? Because I don't like to clean any more dishes than what I have to. So instead of putting your coleslaw in here and mixing the dressing up in another bowl, I mix the dressing up first in this bowl that I'm going to use. So for a whole bag of cabbage, you would use a cup of mayonnaise. So I'm just going to use a half a cup and I'm just going to eyeball it here. That's it. And you want to use 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to half that, and I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon. And as always, once you get this mixed up, taste it to see if it tastes good to you or if you need to add more sugar or more vinegar or mayonnaise. So mix that vinegar up with the mayonnaise really good. And then you use 1/4 cup of sugar. So I'm going to have that and use 1/8 of a cup. And I don't like using the full cup. I do a scant 1/8 or a scant 1/4. And then I taste it to see if it's good or if I need to add more sugar. So I put in my scant 1/8 cup of sugar, granulated sugar. Stir this up really good. And now I'm just going to taste it. Take that up to my spoon. I think that's perfect. The dressing alone is delicious. So now I'm just going to add enough coleslaw in here for that dressing, probably about half this bag. And just stir it up really good. I don't like my coleslaw swimming in the dressing. I'm going to add just a little bit more. And I think that texture and mixture looks just perfect. I'm going to add a little bit of coarse ground pepper. You don't have to do this. You don't have to add any pepper or salt, but I thought, and I'm using pink Himalayan salt, just a pinch. And stir this up. There's a piece of cabbage. And that's all there is to making good coleslaw. Now everybody likes this coleslaw. It's a good balance of sweet and tart. So I'm going to put it in this glass bowl to take with me tonight and put it in the refrigerator. Okay, I have got started on this corn salad dip from Homeworthy, Hillside Farms. So you start with fresh corn on the cob. So I went to Tony Slaughter's yesterday, and he still had some fresh corn, and look how pretty. And you take 3 ears. You need 6 ears altogether, but you take 3 ears and shuck them, and look how pretty that corn looks. You're going to roast them in the oven. Or I'm going to roast them in the oven. You can roast them on the grill if you want to, but I don't have time to get the grill started, so they're going to go in the oven. And I'll just watch them closely and get a good char on all sides of the corn. And then while that's cooling, I will shut the other 3 ears and cut them off the cob. And then once this is cooled, I'll cut it off the cob. So that's what I'll be working on, and I'll be back. This is the corn I just roasted, and I learned a lesson. I tried to do it in the big oven, but it was taking forever. And when I put my oven on really high heat, it emits some fumes, and it sets off the smoke alarm. And I was constantly running and fanning that smoke alarm, and I said, forget this. My brother, Johnny, highly recommended this, and I bought it. I'm so glad I did. Emerald Lagasse, and it's got a broil function on it. And I put the tray up on high and set the corn there, and it just took maybe 6 to 8 minutes to roast this corn. It's going through the cooling process now, so I'll let that run and cool. So I'm going to let the corn cool, and then while that's cooling, I'm going to cut 3 more ears, fresh ears. Cut the corn off the cob on here. And I need some fresh basil, so I need to run out to the herb garden and pick some basil leaves and wash them up. So here's one bunch of basil. There's rosemary in there and another bunch of basil. And I need about a cup, so I'll pick some good leaves and get them in and wash them. I think that should be enough. And this vine that's growing around here, around everything, I got that from my mother. It's a hummingbird vine, and it only blooms here in August and September. Comes back every year, but look at these pretty flowers. And I don't really have a good spot to plant it for it to grow up. It's growing up my rake here. I just leave it. I've got plenty of rakes. But it reminds me of my mom. I loved her so much and still do and miss her. One of my viewers last year sent me a Rada paring knife, and I love that knife. It's so sharp, does such a good job. I loved it so much that I went online. They were having a sale here for Labor Day, and I bought a whole set of Rada knives. So I'm using this one to shave the corn kernels off of this cob, and it just goes through it so easy. Love it. I use a good wide bowl to cut the corn so it has space for my hand and knife to work comfortably. Okay, I got my basil washed and dried as much as I can, so I'm just going to start chopping this up with my Rada chopper knife. Oh, it's cutting through it just like butter. Okay, I went downstairs to get a 9x13, but all I have is the clear Pyrex, and I saw this dish. My neighbor gave me this dish. It's so pretty. Look at the pattern inside. And I think it might be equivalent to an 8x8, but if it doesn't all fit in here, I'll make 2 dishes of it using this 8x8. So I've got my dishes now. And I've got the prep work done. I got the basil chopped up. I needed a cup, so I've got that, and I didn't use all the basil but I won't waste it. I'll let that dry and put in a good storage bag to use this winter. It calls for 2 tablespoons of green onions diced, and you just use the tops, the green part of the green onion. And it calls for a half of a diced jalapeno with the seeds removed. So that's what that is. And you will also need some red pepper, and I got some ground red pepper and feta cheese, and the secret ingredient I'll tell you later. But let's go on to the next step, and that's preparing the base of this corn salad. So what you need is 1 avocado, and I'm going to get this peeled and put it on the cutting board. It was hard to find anybody that had avocados yesterday. Kroger had them, so get a spoon to get that out with. And this was a nice ripe one. And I'm going to use my mini food processor. I don't feel like dragging that big one out. So I'll just give these a little sections here to go in my mini food processor. When you're just using 1 avocado, you can do that. Whoops. I wasn't too graceful at doing that, was I? And my apron came untied too. That's the way it goes around here. Let me get this one out. Get all the goodness out of there. Avocados are so good for you. Okay, put that in the food processor. And to this mixture, to this avocado rather, I'm going to add a little bit of oil and some salt. Wash my hands. And tie my apron back. I don't know how that came untied. Okay, so I've got 1 avocado. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil. You can use any oil you like, but my favorite is avocado oil. So 1 tablespoon goes in here. And you will need the juice of 2 fresh limes. And to do my limes, I just roll them to soften them up. Slice them up, and I use this little glass juicer, vintage juicer. It does a great job. I've already done 1 lime, so this will be the second. Okay, wash my hands again. Avocado pit there. Okay. I'm going to use a little strainer to pour this lime juice in here, if I can do that without making a mess. Could pour it in a separate bowl, but you know me, I don't like to wash any more dishes than what I have to. Put the lime juice in. Wipe up my counter here. Okay, and I'm just going to use a pinch of salt. Using the pink Himalayan salt. You can't really tell when I'm pouring it like that. It's one small pinch, and I'll do another. Okay, I'm going to run this through the food processor until it's smooth. Well, you all, I thought the video was running and it wasn't. So I got the avocado puree mixed together and it's really smooth. I went back to the corn that I cut off the cob and I added 2 tablespoons of this puree in with the corn. So it says to the corn, add 2 tablespoons of oil, which I've already done, 2 teaspoons of Mike's Hot Honey, or you can use regular honey. So I used 2 teaspoons of Kroger brand hot honey. I couldn't find Mike's Hot Honey. And of course, I've already said the 2 tablespoons of the puree mixture. And I've mixed all of this together real good in with the corn. So now I'm going to add half of the jalapeno pepper. This is the 1/2 jalapeno pepper goes in. And 2 tablespoons of green onions diced, and you just use the green part. There's that. And it says 1½ teaspoons of chili pepper. So I'm going to use this ground red pepper. It's ground cayenne pepper. So 1 teaspoon goes in. I don't know if I'm going to use the whole ½ teaspoon, maybe 1/4. Some people may not like it very hot. I'm going to use 1/4 teaspoon. I'll taste it. And we're going to mix all this up again. Alright, camera, make sure you're recording this. I might go ahead and use the other 1/4 teaspoon because this is a lot of corn. And it may take that. I'm glad I got this big wide bowl out to do this with because it helps with getting it stirred up real good. I'm going to taste it. Needs that other 1/4 teaspoon. So I used 1 1/2 teaspoons of the ground cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is a chili pepper, so it'll work well. All right, I think I've got that stirred up. We're starting to build the salad now. So the first thing that goes in is the avocado puree. Hopefully I'll be able to get it all in this dish. Spread this around the bottom. Add the corn mixture. Okay, that fit in there just perfectly. Smooth that out. Set all this aside. And now to the top. We're going to add, it says 2 cups of fresh basil. I guess I do need to cut the other basil up. So, okay, cut up the rest of the basil. And then to the basil, you want to add feta cheese. It calls for 4 ounces of crumbled feta cheese. This is a 6-ounce container. I probably won't use it for anything else before it goes bad, so I'm going to use the whole thing. I'm going to squeeze some of these really big pieces to get them crumbled up a little bit better. Now for the secret ingredient. Can you guess what it is? 1 cup of blueberries. Now I had these blueberries in the freezer, so I set them out and washed them and let them sit here and air dry. But we're going to put blueberries all over the top of this. I guess that's why she calls it, it looks like a salad. So this is it. I will wrap it up. Look how pretty that is. Now I'm going to just put some plastic wrap over it and put it in the fridge. Let it be chilling for the afternoon. We're getting together, I guess, around 6. So now it's ready for the fridge. And I'm going to serve this with these Big Dippers tortilla chips. I bought at Aldi's yesterday. Well, I just finished washing all the dishes from those 2 dishes I'm taking tonight. It's lunchtime. It's 12:34. Not eating anything today. So I'm just going to fix my protein latte that I like to drink for lunch. And since I'm eating a good hearty supper tonight, that's all I'm going to have. So what I do is use the Nescafe espresso. It's gold espresso and it says intense on it. And I'm using 2 heaping one of these long-handled teaspoons. And I've been drinking on a bottle of water, so it's cold water, and I'm just going to, let me show you. I'm using this tall glass, and I'm going to pour in probably 1/4 to 1/2 cup of that cold water and stir up the coffee granules really good. That espresso also comes in decaf, so if you need decaf, be sure to get that. And I'm using a container of the Premier Protein vanilla flavor and pour that right in on top of that coffee. Okay, give it a stir. And I'm going to add some ice on top of it and sit down and rest. So good and refreshing. And that will hold me over till supper. So thank you all for watching, and be blessed. Keep close to the Lord. Keep praying. Keep walking in the light, for He is the light. He is our only hope and our salvation in this very dark world we live in. So pray you all be blessed this week, and we'll see you next time at My Appalachian Life. I'm Joanna, and I love you all. Thanks for watching.